The DSD-1 Dwarf Spider Droid was one of the CIS Droid Army's most ubiquitous units. It was to the Confederacy as the AT-RT was to the Republic, a nimble, versatile light walker that usually acted as Republic Forces' primary light vehicle. Often working together with the much larger OG-9 homing spider droid, the Dwarf Spider Droid made appearances on many of the battlefields of the Clone Wars, from Geonosis to Kashyyyk, and on each one of them, it proved itself extremely effective for its size. In this video, we'll be taking a closer look at the Dwarf Spider Droid and its history.
Attention, Sergeant on deck!
The DSD-1 Dwarf Spider Droid, along with its larger cousin, the OG-9 homing spider droid, was designed by Bactoid Armor Workshop for the Commerce Guild Punitive Security Forces. These two spider droid models were the core of the Commerce Guild's droid army, and they were meant to work in tandem, with 4 or so dwarf spider droids acting as spotters and armed scouts for a bonded homing spider droid on the battlefield. Their intended purpose was a sinister one. The Commerce Guild wanted to use them to break strikes on its mining worlds and seize mines from rival corporations. The Dwarf Spider Droid was especially useful to the Guild in this capacity. While the homing spider droid was generally restricted to surface operations, the Dwarf Spider Droid was small enough to fit in mine shafts, for which it earned the nickname of Burrowing Spider Droid. The Commerce Guild would deploy these droids into its mines to force striking miners back to work, and it would also send them into the mines of rival companies to seize them for its own use. The Commerce Guild considered the Dwarf Spider Droid's performance in such operations satisfactory, and the Punitive Security Forces commissioned untold thousands of them from Bactoid. The Dwarf Spider Droid consisted of a more or less spherical body supported by 4 thin, spider-like legs. This main body contained the droid's onboard reactor, its power cells, its droid brain, and its sensors, primarily 4 forward-mounted photoreceptors, 2 large and 2 small. All of this was topped with an extremely tough armored dome, which provided the droid's important components with protection from blaster fire. The Dwarf Spider Droid's dome was topped with an adjustable antenna, which connected it wirelessly to nearby homing spider droids, allowing the droid to directly transmit sensor data to its larger counterpart. The Dwarf Spider Droid's legs were thin and somewhat vulnerable, but they provided the droid with excellent maneuverability and speed. The droid's feet appeared to have been magnetized, allowing it to crawl straight up cliffs or vertical mine shafts, making the Dwarf Spider Droid exceptionally versatile. It could perform well in a variety of environments. Despite its nickname, the Dwarf Spider Droid doesn't appear to have been able to use its legs to burrow, though it was certainly capable of fighting in burrows made by others. The Dwarf Spider Droid was extremely intelligent, capable of communicating in binary, expressing frustration and other such emotions, and infamously even refusing orders that it believed would cause its destruction. Despite this apparent aversion to suicidal orders, Dwarf Spider Droids were equipped with a self-destruct system that they occasionally used to blow up hostiles who happened to get too close. Apparently, suicide on the orders of a commander was a bridge too far, but suicide to own the meat bags was acceptable to a Dwarf Spider Droid. Apart from its self-destruct mechanism, the Dwarf Spider Droid's primary weapon was a single forward-mounted fixed laser cannon. This weapon was quite powerful and had a variety of firing modes. It could fire off less powerful anti-personnel blasts with a fairly high rate of fire, or it could charge up for more powerful blasts. The Battle of Teth indicates that it might have had a flak setting, but this is just speculation on our part. The more powerful fire setting allowed the Dwarf Spider Droid to shoot down LAAT gunships and severely damage heavy ground vehicles, making this droid an accomplished killer. However, this cannon could also be a weakness in certain situations. It was fixed, thus requiring the droid to turn its head to target it, and it was long enough that in suitably narrow places it would prevent the droid from turning around, allowing it to be destroyed from behind. The Commerce Guild also commissioned a variant of the Dwarf Spider Droid, the ADSD Advanced Dwarf Spider Droid. This unit was rarely seen even during the Clone Wars, but it was extraordinarily powerful. This mofo was somewhere between the DSD-1 and OG-9. It was roughly the same shape as the Dwarf Spider Droid, but it was larger and much more heavily armored. The advanced Dwarf Spider Droid was almost completely covered by heavy armor, and while the standard Dwarf Spider Droid could be taken down with a few well-placed blaster shots, it took vehicle fire or anti-armor rounds to bring down an advanced Dwarf Spider Droid. Its lone weak spot was its optical cluster, but it had countermeasures to prevent enemies from taking advantage of it. Its front legs featured 2 large blast shields that it could bring in front of its eyes, and if those were destroyed, it also had an adjustable armored flap that covered the optical cluster directly. Other differences between the advanced Dwarf Spider Droid and its smaller cousin were a pair of floodlights built into the legs and its increased firepower. The main weapon of the advanced Dwarf Spider Droid was a heavy laser cannon mounted on top of the droid. Unlike the fixed cannon of the droid, this weapon was turret mounted, and it was also extraordinarily powerful, able to wipe out whole platoons of infantry. As if that wasn't bad enough, the advanced Dwarf Spider Droid boasted a pair of fire-linked missile launchers with a total capacity of 36 frag missiles for both of them. These allowed it to annihilate armored vehicles and infantry alike. The droid's lone shortcoming was that it was sluggish, enabling skilled commandos to outflank and destroy it. The Dwarf Spider Droid, and to a lesser degree its advanced counterpart, saw action all throughout the Clone Wars. Both were first encountered in the First Battle of Geonosis, in which 2 advanced Dwarf Spider Droids were encountered and destroyed by Delta Squad, and 15,000 standard Dwarf Spider Droids fought in the ground battle. Despite the Confederacy's defeat at Geonosis, both versions of the droid proved their worth in this opening battle, killing many clones and destroying many Republic vehicles. For the rest of the war, the advanced Dwarf Spider Droid was a rare sight. Its only other notable appearance was during the Battle of Kashyyyk, where several fought in and around the city of Kachiro. But the standard Dwarf Spider Droid became extremely common. Whenever the Confederacy deployed homing Spider Droids, Dwarf Spider Droids were almost always sent out alongside them, but in many battles, it was even deployed on its own or to support other armored Separatist vehicles. It became the Confederacy's favoured light vehicle, seeing more action than the older STAP or newer Crab Droid. Early in the war, Dwarf Spider Droids appeared in the Battle of Mutilants, the Battle of Brental 4, the Battle of Atrakan, and the Battle of Jabim. In the Battle of Teth, they were the Confederacy's primary armoured vehicles, using precise fire to down LAAT gunships and ATTEs alike. They participated in all of the many battles fought on Felucia, especially the Second Battle of Felucia, and they later fought in the Battle of Malastare, the Battle of Onderon, and the Battle of Ringo Vinda. Dwarf Spider Droids also participated extensively in the Outer Rim sieges and the Battle of Coruscant, with a notable appearance on Escart during the Jedi Order's hunt for Darth Sidious. Hundreds of Dwarf Spider Droids marched across the floor of the Wawat Archipelago's lagoons during the Battle of Kashyyyk, leading the charge against Republic and Wookiee defensive positions outside Kachiro. In this battle, they were meant to counter the Republic's AT-RT walkers. At the end of the Clone Wars, all Dwarf Spider Droids were shut down, but they didn't stay that way for long. Officers in the Republic-turned-Imperial military recognized the effectiveness of these units, and vast numbers of them were seized from former Separatist warehouses for use in service to the Empire. The Stormtrooper Corps in particular made extensive use of the Dwarf Spider Droid, deploying these units as attack dogs against former Separatist worlds, turning them against the systems they had been built to defend. The Dwarf Spider Droid continued to see service throughout the Imperial era, after which it was finally retired. So that's our look at the Dwarf Spider Droid, the Confederacy's answer to the AT-RT. But what do you think? Are there other Separatist droid vehicles you'd like us to take a look at? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and as always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.